What's up, guys? I finally made it to top 500. I'm really happy about that. Now it's time to go for the #1 spot in NA. Or at least I'm gonna try. Anyway, today's video is gonna be about Symmetra. After her rework, she has changed significantly and she definitely brings a lot more to the team now. So I'm gonna break this down in different parts. Let's start off with gameplay, then we're gonna move on to turrets, shields, ults and ways to use it, and different maps you can play her in. If you guys want to skip to a certain topic, timestamps are in the description below, so let's get started. So not much has changed in terms of Symmetra gameplay, and her playstyle is really simple. All you want to do is to get your ultimate as fast as possible, and this means you have to avoid dying. What I usually do is I just spam the right clicks as much as possible, and I end up getting my ultimate around the first 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Once you have your teleporter up, you can start playing way more aggressive, but not too aggressive. And the way you generally want to use Symmetra in a team fight is wait for your team to go in and then you straggle on right after, because they'll see you coming and you have nothing to stop them. You have to be fairly close to do damage, so you need to wait for your team to engage so that you can go unnoticed and start doing damage. And Symmetra deals a high amount of damage once she starts ramping up. Teams won't expect it, but heroes like Lucio, Genji, Tracer are going to be destroyed within seconds after you ramp up your damage. So overall, you want to play conservatively until you get that teleporter. Then you can start playing a little bit more aggressive, but even then, you just need to make sure that you're not the one engaging the fights. Alright, let's move on to the turret changes. The only change that came with Symmetra's turrets is that it's a quality of life change. You don't have to wait the extra how many ever seconds it takes to get 6 turrets up before the match starts. But there is a trick that has made it insanely easy to get your teleporter up in the first 30 seconds of the game. And the way you do this is by placing 6 turrets at the enemy spawn, and once they come out, those 6 turrets will start dealing damage. Now the enemy team will most likely be too slow to respond to those turrets, and by that time you should have gotten at least 30% or 20% ult charge. That's insane. You can get your ultimate incredibly fast because of that. So the next time you want to play Symmetra, just remember to use this trick, because it will help you a ton in getting that teleporter as fast as possible. Alright, so let's talk about where you want to place your turrets other than at the spawn of the enemy. So let's use Eichenwald as an example. Now when you're defending a Symmetra, a lot of people put it on the arc of the bridge so that when people pass by, they're usually hit by the lasers. I don't like doing that. I like placing my turrets in hidden spots around the point so that when we have flankers go in, heroes like Tracer, Genji, and they're running around, it does something to them. Their HP pools are extremely low, so those lasers will have an impact on them. But when you put them on the arc as people are trying to pass by, the lasers won't have as much impact because they're hitting tanks. And those lasers do little to no damage to tanks. So you want to put them around the point so that when people are trying to escape and run away, they get slowed by the lasers and they take damage. And that damage is usually meaningful if it hits the squishies. Now, let's move on to her shield ability. So, Symmetra hasn't been out for a while, and I don't think people see the potential in how you could use the shield. So I'm going to start off with how to use it when you're just doing the choke battle. It's what you're seeing here on the screen, just back and forth with the team. You want to use the shield off cooldown. You can't really predict what the enemy team is going to be using, and it also helps Reinhardt in maintaining his shield. Other than that, there's not much to it, you just want to use it off cooldown. One thing that's really important about Symmetra's shield is the fact that it can stop ultimates. Any ability that can stop ultimates is a big deal. You can protect your team from Diva explosions, Earth Shatters, and other ults that I can't really think of right now. You can use it to 1v1 McCrees by blocking their flashbang, and you do this by just walking in front of the shield and walking towards the McCree. He can't really do much against that unless he saves a flashbang, but you know, they're gonna be scared and shit. Just use that shield as much as you can. It's a 9-second cooldown, it isn't even that long. Alright, so let's talk about her ultimate ability now. So 2 things have changed about Symmetra's ultimate. 1, you can choose between having a teleporter or a shield generator. The second thing that's changed is the teleporter's health. It now has a shield that regenerates over time after the enemy team has stopped attacking it for a while. I'll talk about which ultimate you want to use when, but right now I want to focus on where you should be placing your teleporter. The best place to place that teleporter is somewhere you have never seen it before. You don't want to copy every other place you've seen, because everyone's going to know to check there. So in Numbani right here, I placed a teleporter in a location where I've never seen anyone place it before. And it ends up staying alive for the full charge even though they had a Diva and Tracer looking for it. No other ability in the game has that potential to waste the enemy's time running around the map as if they're playing quick play. So just take an extra 5 seconds to consider where you should be putting that teleporter. So in some games, I've been asked to put down a shield generator on the first point. This makes absolutely no sense. You should never be putting a generator on the first point. The walk back is too long not to put a teleporter. The only reason Blizzard added a shield generator is because on the second point, Symmetra would be obsolete because the walk back is so short. That's where you want to place the shield generator, on the second point, because walking back takes no time at all. You need that shield generator to stay alive longer. On payload maps, just consider how long it takes to walk back and use your best judgment in whether you want to use the shield generator or the teleporter. So there's one more thing you can do before you place your teleporter. You can hold on to it until you see someone die, so that it's not vulnerable before people start dying and the enemy team doesn't have a chance to search for it because it's not up. This does have its own drawbacks. Let's say you die and you still have a teleporter and then your team dies, and that's an opportunity wasted right there. Personally, I don't hold on to my ultimate, but I just felt like I should mention it in case any of you guys would like that playstyle. And here's a pro tip. If the point is cleared and you just came back from the dead and your team is telling you we're good and that the point is safe, avoid taking the teleporter, just walk back to the point. You never know when you'll need the extra charge. We all know how lazy video gamers can be.
What do you mean?
So since this rework, I've been testing out Symmetra on attack, and I've done this at around rank 3500. It works on some maps, but when it does, it works really well. Here, I'm playing Symmetra on attack on Numbani. Numbani is one of the greatest maps for Symmetra, either on defense or attack. And the reason why Numbani is so good is because everyone knows that defense always plays on high ground. So when you go as the attacker, you go to the high ground and start spamming your orbs. Usually there's going to be a Reinhardt and a bunch of other people standing right behind him. That allows Symmetra to get her ult incredibly fast. Once you do that, drop down, go to that room with the big health pack, and set your teleporter right there. Put turrets around the entrance to protect it, and you're good to go. The enemy team won't even know where to start looking for an attack Symmetra teleporter. It's just really hard because you don't see it that often, so you don't know the locations of where a Symmetra on attack would be putting her teleporters. And if the enemy decides to go search for the teleporter, that leaves their point exposed and their team exposed. And I'm just going to include the clip of us capping the point, just so you guys know that it actually worked. Now, defense Symmetra works on almost all the maps. Attack Symmetra is more situational. So the maps that you can play attack Symmetra on are Numbani, King's Row, Temple of Anubis, and that's all I've tested so far. The reason why these maps are maps you want to play attack Symmetra on are because you can use this strategy that I call infiltration. And the reason it's called that is because you don't have to depend on your team to follow you. You can do your own thing. Let's say your team is attacking and you're playing Temple of Anubis. Your team goes to the left. You have your ultimate, but you go to the right. You go to the second floor where the big health pack is on Temple of Anubis and place that teleporter. Now your team is coming from the second floor and the enemy team is expecting them to be coming from the front door. You're already on the point. It's the surprise element that gets this strategy working. Now some people might say, hey, can we please get a second healer? And to that, I say don't knock it until you try it, because you never know how it'll turn out. You might be surprised with the results. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you guys like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time.